In this video, I'm showing you how I made my September Dutch door cover using a sunflower theme. I chose one big sunflower kind of for the center of the page, and then used two smaller flowers on the top and the bottom. So in order to layer them, I first cut out separately on a different piece of paper one of the big ones and one of the smaller ones so that I could mask it, so I could lay it over and then stamp over it so it would appear that it was layered. And then as you can see, some of the ink didn't quite get onto the page. So you'll see later I come in with one of my Sakura Micron pens to color in the parts that didn't get inked onto the page. And then I also added two of the leaves on the side for extra leaves. After I finish adding the Sakura Micron pen to kind of fill in those blank spaces, then I start coloring in all of the different flowers. So eventually this becomes a Dutch door, but for now you don't see that yet because I haven't cut it out. The first color that I use is for the leaves, and that is in Old Olive. I use Stampin' Up products, so I use my Stampin' Right markers, and this is Old Olive. I love Stampin' Up products because they coordinate all of their inks and their markers, even the papers that you can get. Their designer series papers have certain colors in them, which kind of takes the guesswork out of matching colors. So I really love that aspect of Stampin' Up. Eventually, I will come back in with a second color, which you'll see later in the video. But the next color that I use is Daffodil Delight, and that's kind of the base color for all of the sunflowers, the yellow. And for the sunflowers, I also come in with a second color, which we'll see here in a few minutes. Again, I love that all of the Stampin' Up colors coordinate with each other. I kind of tested out some of them first to see which colors kind of went together. And of course I wanted a fall theme since it is September, but I am planning like fall leaves for November. So I was trying to save those colors until November. And I thought sunflowers was going to be a perfect theme for this month, for September. So just getting ready for that. The next color that I use is Pecan Pie, and that's for the centers of all of the sunflowers. I really, really love this brown color. I tried a bunch of the different Stampin' Up, but this seemed like the best for the center of the sunflower. And I didn't find another one that I could layer with this, but I think the stamp already had enough layering on it in order to make it work. So now you see I have the second yellow color, which is called Crushed Curry, and it's a little bit of a darker yellow color. And I'm just going over and adding some yellow lines into each of the petals to try and create some texture for the sunflower. I have lots of other sunflower stamps, so I'm really hoping that this month I get to use a lot of those within my pages. So I'm planning on showing some of those as well. Maybe not here on YouTube, but if you check on my Instagram or my Facebook page, which is also Paisley and Purple, On both of those, you can see the images of my sunflower weekly pages that I will post there. So this video is really just for the Dutch door. Here you see that I'm using my pen knife or X-Acto knife to cut out the Dutch door. You could use scissors here, I suppose, but because of the petal shapes, I felt like I really wanted that crisp, clean cut for each of the petals, so those stick out. And you'll kind of see once I put some paper behind there that you can see each of those individual petals. And I like this look a lot better than using scissors. Scissors I would suggest if you were doing a bigger space that you were cutting out for a Dutch door, such as if you were just doing like a half circle or something like that, that might be a better use of scissors rather than the X-Acto knife. But the X-Acto knife is a little more precise. And here my X-Acto knife wanted to cut off part of my petal, so I had to use my scissors to get in there and cut off the part that I didn't want to show up, because the petals got really close in that particular part of the sunflowers. And then there we have the final part. Now here I'm trying to decide what paper I want behind the sunflowers. I had lots of choices. I tried to pick some different browns that were kind of neutral, and then I settled on this paper that's kind of has a diamond pattern in it, but I really liked the way that it looked behind the sunflowers. And then I just cut off the top, and then I used my corner punch to round the edges of those pages. And I did forget earlier to go over the leaves because I did have a darker green, which is the color Mossy Meadow, and just added a little more texture into the leaves as well. For the word September, I wrote that in the pecan pie color. Again, I'm super thankful that Stampin' Up! Makes coordinating colors, but I got the idea for how to write it from Riley Autumn, and she's here on YouTube as well. I watch a lot of her videos and really love that. I will link her down in the description. And then I finished up the Dutch door page with this quote from Helen Keller, which I really loved. And it says, "Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see the shadows. It's what sunflowers do." And I loved that. So that was kind of the final touch for the Dutch door for September. If you enjoyed this video, please like and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.